All right, let's dive into one of the most talked about and maybe one of the most controversial books ever written on human psychology, Robert Greene's The Art of Seduction. Now, this isn't just a book about dating or romance. No, it's way bigger than that. It's really a playbook for influence, desire, and yeah, power. The kind that operates just beneath the surface of all our interactions.
So, one of the most dangerous books ever written. That's a pretty heavy statement, right? But it's got that reputation for a reason. Why dangerous? Well, because Greene basically pulls back the curtain on the mechanics of influence. He lays out how attraction can be, well, engineered, and how emotions can be guided. It's like getting a look at the secret blueprint of human desire.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll get into the mindset behind seduction. Then we'll figure out the different seductive archetypes. You might find yourself in one of them. We'll also cover what absolutely kills attraction. And finally, we'll walk through Greene's step-by-step process, sparking that initial desire and then, well, deepening the spell. Okay, first up, seduction is a mind game. The very first thing you have to understand, according to Greene, is that this has almost nothing to do with your looks. Seriously, it's all psychology. It's about paying attention to other people, what they're missing, what they secretly want, their insecurities. And that means it's a skill, a form of power that pretty much anyone can learn.
So what is seduction, really? Greene defines it as this kind of soft power. Think about it. Using force or being too direct almost always makes people put up a wall, right? It creates resistance. Seduction, on the other hand, is indirect. It uses things like mystery, psychology, and emotion to draw someone toward you, so much so that they feel like it was their idea all along.
And to pull this off, you need a very specific mindset. First, and this is huge, you have to aim your attention outward. Stop thinking about yourself and start studying your target. What do they really want? Because self-absorption, that's the ultimate attraction killer. Second, you've got to keep things mysterious. Don't lay all your cards on the table. Third, it's all about orchestrating emotions, creating these waves of pleasure and tension. And last but not least, you have to be patient. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon. You're building an entire experience, not just making one move.
All right, so that's the mindset. But how does this actually look in practice? Well, according to Greene, we all have a kind of natural seductive style. There's an archetype that fits us. The real key is figuring out which one you are and then mastering it, because the most powerful seduction comes from leaning into your own unique strengths.
Let's look at a few of these archetypes. For example, you have the siren. Think Cleopatra. She's all about embodying the ultimate fantasy, offering a complete escape from boring everyday life. Then there's the rake, who brings this intense, unrestrained passion to the table, making their target feel like the most desired person on the planet. You've also got the charismatic, like JFK, who just radiates this incredible, unshakable confidence that people can't help but be drawn to. And then there's the dandy, who's fascinating because they blur all the lines and defy expectations, making themselves an object of pure, irresistible curiosity.
Okay, but here's the flip side. For every powerful seducer, there's what Greene calls the anti-seducer. And this is just as important. These are the people who, usually without even knowing it, have habits that just push people away. They kill attraction stone dead. Knowing what not to do is honestly just as crucial as knowing what to do.
And the difference is just night and day. A seducer's focus is always outward. The anti-seducer is totally self-absorbed. A seducer is generous with their time and attention. The miser is stingy with everything. A seducer is patient. The brute is impatient and forceful. And maybe the most common one, a seducer creates mystery while the chatterbox just talks and talks and talks until there's absolutely no mystery left. These are the exact things that make people run in the other direction.
So we've got the mindset down and we know what to avoid. Now let's get into the actual process. The opening moves. This part is all about one thing, shaking things up. It's about pulling your target out of their routine and making them intensely curious about you.
Greene maps this whole thing out in 4 main phases. It starts with separation, which is really just about getting their undivided attention. Then you move into creating confusion and suspense, an emotional roller coaster that starts to make them rely on you. Phase 3 is about going deeper, tapping into their subconscious. And it all leads to the final phase, conquest, or the final surrender. It's a whole emotional journey, carefully planned out. So those opening moves are super strategic. First, you got to choose the right target, someone who seems a little restless, someone who's open to something new. Then, you don't just walk right up, you approach indirectly to create a sense of safety. Then comes the fun part. You send mixed signals, be warm one minute, a little distant the next. It drives people crazy with curiosity. And a really classic move is to create triangles. Basically, make it seem like other people desire you.
That little bit of competition, it instantly raises your value in their eyes.
Okay, so let's say you've done all that. You've got their attention, they're hooked on the emotional roller coaster you've set up. Now we're in the end game. And the goal here is to deepen that spell so much that turning back doesn't even feel like an option. Surrender becomes the only thing that makes sense.
And the tactics in the endgame are, well, they're pretty potent. For instance, showing a calculated moment of your own vulnerability can completely disarm someone and build a huge amount of empathy. Greene also talks about a much more intense tactic, isolating the person from their friends and family to make them more dependent on you. This gets combined with mixing pleasure and pain, that hot and cold thing again, to create an almost addictive cycle. And then when the moment is absolutely perfect, you make one single, decisive, bold move to just cut through all the tension and seal the deal.
So when you strip it all down, the art of seduction really isn't just about love or romance. It's a masterclass in the psychology of human influence. And look, understanding this stuff is a form of power. Whether you use it or not, it helps you see the invisible strings, the unspoken social games that are being played all around you every single day. Now, one thing about Greene is that he presents all of this without any judgment. He's not telling you if it's right or wrong. He's just laying out the playbook, which leaves us and you with a really big question. Now that you know the playbook, is it a tool you can use to build deeper connections, or is it just a weapon for manipulation? The book doesn't answer that for you. That's a call you have to make yourself.